Shine your light now. This time it's got to be good. You get it right now, yeah. 'Cause you're in Hollywood. 'Cause you're in Hollywood. Hollywood. Hollywood.
What's going on, guys? On this episode of On the Set, I'm checking out Together, and this one's pretty wild, so let's get into it. The movie starts off with a search party looking for a couple in the woods who went missing quite a while ago. We then meet Tim and Millie, a couple living in the city who are about to relocate to the more secluded wooded area outside of town. Millie's moving to start work as a teacher at a new school. Tim is a musician and is trying to start a music career, but he's moving with Millie to make her happy. Anyway, once they move, Millie meets another teacher at her school named Jamie, who seems pretty nice and helpful. He offers to show them around town since he literally lives down the street from them. Later on, Tim gets wrapped up in writing some new music, but promises to go hiking with Millie the following day. And it seems like ever since they moved, they've become a little bit distant. So the next day, as they're hiking in the woods, they get lost and it starts pouring rain. They find a strange bell hanging from a tree, and then Tim suddenly falls into a giant hole in the ground. Millie tries to save him, but she ends up getting pulled in too. After falling in, they decide to look around and discover a bigger bell like the one outside, only this one is huge, and it's hanging from where they fell in. In addition to that, there are some broken boards and church pews lining the walls. So that's not weird at all. Realizing that they're trapped, the couple decides to take shelter in there for the night. But they don't have any supplies. So Tim finds a random puddle of water nearby and they both drink from it. Yeah, no, I'm good on that one. When they wake up the next morning, their legs are stuck together, so they have to pull them apart, tearing their skin. The two manage to climb out of the hole, but things only get worse from here. Jamie comes over to visit and they tell him about what happened. However, he's somewhat dismissive of it. He tells them about an old church that used to exist out in the woods, where they would practice some pretty strange things. But the church collapsed at one point, and everyone there just kind of disappeared. As time goes on, Tim and Millie's relationship strains even more so. Tim becomes real clingy to Millie as she becomes colder towards him, not wanting anything to do with him. Later, she drops him off at the train station to go visit his bandmates and work on some new music. But when she returns to school, she finds him there watching her. When Millie goes to confront Tim about this, all he has to do is touch her one time, and suddenly she wants to be all over him. The two end up hooking up in a nearby bathroom stall, where Tim gets stuck inside of her, the same way their legs got stuck together in the cave. After this, she grows even more distant. That night, as they're sleeping on opposite ends of the house, something causes their bodies to drag towards each other even as they're asleep. They wake up as their bodies are being dragged and they start freaking out. So, to counteract this, they start crushing and snorting Valium in an effort to knock themselves out. It works pretty well, but when they wake up, their arms are fused together. So, Millie gives Tim some whiskey and proceeds to separate them with a sawzall. Uh-oh. Then, they decide to go to the hospital, but Millie notices that she may have left her keys at Jamie's house the last time she was visiting. So she goes over, but all she finds is an old videotape playing of Jamie and his husband's wedding at the old church. There's no Jamie in sight. Meanwhile, Tim goes back down inside the cave and finds a half-fused body of what I assume are the missing hikers. Back at Jamie's, he pops out and tries to hold Millie captive. It's here that we learn that the church was using what I assume is that puddle of water to fuse couples together into one body. Jamie and his husband did this and are now two people living as one. And this is why Tim and Millie keep getting pulled towards each other and fusing. Whatever's in that water is making their bodies merge. So, Millie gets away, but not before she gets fatally wounded. When she runs back into Tim, she nearly dies in his arms as they embrace each other. As he gets her back into the house, they determine that the only way to save her life is to merge together. So they do, and it's pretty fucking weird. Anyway, not too long after that, Millie's parents come to visit and are greeted by the new merged couple. The end. Wow, this one was absolutely wild. What a crazy concept. I'm not completely sure the water is what did this, but either way, I wouldn't be drinking it if I found it in a cave. And yeah, Jamie was pretty sketchy from the start. That church he was affiliated with was probably a cult. Just saying. Alright, well, that was Together. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.